Hi, friends. How are you? So, tonight, unfortunately, Sean is not able to make it because he is off and flying home from wherever he was. So, it'll just be me also flying tonight, but flying solo. Nice to see everyone. So, welcome, Jay. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Penny. Hello, Brandon. Nice to see all of you. Hi, Karen. Um, I see that there is some discussion in the chat about the inspiration box. Hello, Sandy. I have to say, you are always so welcoming. It's great. Hi, Kara. Um, I love that good vibe coming from Sandy. It puts me at ease as I start to go live. Hey, Shirley. Hey, April. Welcome, welcome. Yes, so yeah, you've heard of the Man of La Mancha. Tonight, I am the Man of Monroe. So flying solo. You love my room. It's very. Oh, thank you. So I actually don't have a separate craft room. So instead, I have my living room like sectioned off. So I have my crafting area over here, and then over there is my living room area. But yeah, it's kind of, I love different kinds of art and having it on display. Hey, Jamie. So I saw that there was some discussion going on about the inspiration box, and it's very timely because tonight I am using the inspiration box for my card. So I'm using the Bubbles and Broomstick stamp set. And so really, this month's inspiration box is really, really cool. It's all like, that Wicked and Oz themed. You get some uh, cardstock, you get the stamp set, you get a really cool stencil, and just lots of fun crafting items. April has considered taking over the. Yeah, well, I live in a one-bedroom apartment. I don't know if you know the Boston area well, but rent in Boston and the surrounding area is really expensive. So I tend to just have a one-bedroom apartment because it's really the space that I need. And I don't entertain all that much. And when I get together with friends, it's usually at one of their homes. So this kind of works for me, and it kind of gives me the chance to have my hello, Christy, to have my craft space right by my living area. I can see the TV, and yeah, it works. Welcome, welcome, Christy. I'm excited. I will be seeing Christy in about 12, 17, or 18 hours. Christy's flying out east here, and along with another friend, Cindy, and I'm picking them up, and we're heading down to Cape Cod for Jen Shirkus's art retreat on the Cape. So we'll be doing that this weekend. Oh, yes, you would understand then, April. San Francisco is probably even more expensive than Boston. Yep. Sandy. I love that. I'm going to go ahead and come on down to my desktop to show you the card that I made for tonight and to show you what I'm using. So this is the card that I made, and I was inspired when, as soon as I saw this particular these items, um, by the crystal ball from of the Wicked Witch of the West. And so I thought it would be fun to pay homage to both the good and the bad in Oz by having both a sign of Galinda and a sign of Elphaba within the crystal ball. And as you can see, I used a great product that I am going to show you in just a second to go over the crystal ball. I didn't have to, it's a shattered, um, like, it's not a foil, but it's like a shattered, let me grab it. instead of trying to describe. And that way I can just tell you the exact name of it, because you'll definitely want to pick some of this up. Sparkle Overlay comes in 2 sheets, and look at that. It's like the double-sided adhesive sheets. You just peel the back off, put that over, and it adds that shattered glass type of sparkle. It's amazing. I absolutely love this. And I thought it would be a really fun touch to add onto the crystal ball. And then, yeah, Jay, the glitter glaze on the base is the one for Oz called Unlimited. And this, as you can see, that's what it looks like on black cardstock. But the glitter glaze itself, I mean, look at this. Look at all of that goodness. This would be so much fun for making Christmas cards. And I'm going to be using it in some Christmas cards because I just love it. So, yeah, so I'm using the inspiration box. Thank you so much, Penny, for adding that link in. You can use that link. Go check out the inspiration box. It's a great deal. It's $39.99. And you get so much. And like I said, you get a full stamp set with all this month with all of those Wicked and Oz themed stamps. You also get some cardstock. You get the stencil. It's an overall really great deal. So we need more swatches of the glazes and powders on the BM website. I will pass that along, April. Yeah, I agree. And honestly, if you go to the YouTube channel, Candy has done a lot of videos around the swatching of the various embossing powders and glazes. So there may be some videos out on the YouTube channel. But I'll certainly pass that information along to Christopher as well. Oh, Penny, you are a godsend. Thank you. So as she posted in the chat, you get the 6x8 stamp set. You get the lattice and spellbound. Let's see. So bubbles and broomsticks. Then there is the these are the different items that are out in that collection. Yes. 5 card base. Yep. I mean, it's great. It's absolutely great. So in addition to using the inspiration box, I grabbed one of my favorite die sets from last year, the snow globe cutting die. This die set, it's so flexible. I've used it for snow globes. Now I'm using them for crystal balls. And just to show you, in this card that I'm making tonight, I put the crystal ball on the stand. But in my card that I shared in for inspiration yesterday for my weekly post, I used it without the base so I could have some space to bring in Elphaba's hands kind of going over. And once again, I have that overlay there. And it is spectacular. And that is, Jay, you'll be really happy to know that I used one of the flying monkey stamps. And there he is. She is ready to send him into action as needed. And so, yeah, you can use it in so many different ways. So I'm once again using that die set tonight. And this is still available on the website if you don't have it. It comes with a bunch of pieces, not only the actual die for cutting out your snow globe or crystal ball, not only your base, but then there's also houses and trees and a castle, lots of cool pieces that you can use to just go ahead and create a card using just this die set. So it is absolutely fabulous, and I thought it was perfect for the Wizard of Oz. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. I had just mentioned you, saying that you, me, and Christy would be meeting up tomorrow. Thanks for that link to the snow globe die set, I appreciate that, Penny. So I did my die cutting in advance so that I would have more time to focus on getting the card made and colored. So the process for creating this crystal ball was really simple. I cut out a piece of acetate using the using that circle die from the set. I cut out a piece of why is the name of the paper escaping me right now? Jeez. Not acetate. It is if anyone wants to throw it out in the chat. Vellum, thank you. Thank you so much, Penny. Penny is really helping out a lot tonight. Vellum, thank you. I couldn't think of the word for some reason. And I put the vellum. Then I used the die to cut out a piece of tinfoil because instead of like, since I'm putting it against a card base, I didn't want to see that stuff in back of it. So I cut out a piece of tinfoil, and that just gives that kind of opaque look that is perfect for, yes, thank you, Jay, vellum. That was the word of the day. That gives that really nice background. Additionally, I cut out some. Here is my circular piece of that overlay sheet. So I'm going to put that on top. And I also cut out 2 pieces of double-sided adhesive paper because it just makes it easier than trying to get it all put together with glue. So I'm going to start with stamping on my vellum first so that I can put that to the side, let it dry a bit, and then come in with my trusty hair dryer to go ahead and add a little heat and get that going even more. Oh, that's a really cool thought, April. I didn't think about that when I was doing it, but yeah, that's true. Little homage to the Tin Man as well. That's really fun. Okay, grabbing my stamping platform. And I decided to stamp the hat and the crown for Glinda. I stamp it in black, but then I color them in. And then I think it's a little, I'm going to move that light to see it. Yeah, you can see that I have some green bubbles and some pink bubbles. And I'm going to add those on after I color in these elements. And I stamped those using Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide ink and Kitsch Flamingo Distress Oxide ink. And I thought that was nice because it kind of makes them stand out a little bit more. So that will be what I do after stamping my 2 main elements here into the crystal ball. I'm actually quite jealous because my niece and my sister are currently on their way to an opening night showing of the new Wicked movie. So they're not joining in the live as they normally do tonight, but I forgive them because it's for a good reason, and I know they're having fun. That's for sure. So I'm going to grab my Raven ink and get those 2 stamped on there. It's so funny, like how just as I was speaking about the vellum, I couldn't think of the word for it. I don't know if that ever happens to you, but I found that since I've turned 50, boy, it's happening more and more to me. Jeez. It's not fair. Yes, that movie. So I think it's officially tomorrow, Jay, but some movie theaters are showing it tonight. So they were excited and got tickets. And I was happy that they were going tonight because my niece is coming to watch my dogs for me while I go to the Cape. So she can have some fun tonight and then help me out with the dogs this weekend. So I have those 2 stamped. And I want to, since it's on vellum, I do want to just add some heat to go ahead and help to get that ink set so that it doesn't smear all over my vellum. So I'm just going to mute really quick to go ahead and apply some heat to it. No, you're right, Sandy. I can't use that excuse at all. Um, so I just blame it on age. Jay, I wish I could say I was 29, but I'm not, and that's okay because I'm still having fun in life, and I think that is the important thing. So for the crown, I'm just going to use a silver gel pen, metallic silver gel pen. And I don't have to color it all the way in. I just want to add, especially since there's really thin areas here on this stamp, I'm just adding enough in to make the presence be known that this is a silver crown. And something different I'm going to do tonight, because when I was making this, I didn't even think about it, is there is this nice center stone part of the crown that I just colored in silver the last time. And this time around, I am going to grab a pink alcohol marker, and I'm going to color that stone in the center pink just so that it has a nice stone there. Why not? But if you want to leave it, you certainly could. And now for the witch's hat. Instead of coloring it all black, I'm just going to use some darker grays. Just so that it's not like, you can still make out some of those inside features of the hat. So I'm going to do my darkest kind of up here at the, I smeared a little bit of the ink there. That's okay. And that's not my darkest. This is my darkest. But now what I can do is come in and draw that and fix it. I don't think I let my ink set long enough, because when I created this the other day, I didn't have any issue with the stamped ink, and tonight I am having just a little bit, so that's okay because I can always use a marker and draw in any areas that I kind of smeared a bit. And honestly, since this is going under the plastic and into the crystal ball, if you will, small little things aren't going to be noticed anyways. So that's always a plus. There. And just for fun, I'm going to take a gold metallic marker and just give a little indication of like a band there. Gold band, why not? Put that away and put these markers away. So that part is done. And I'm just going to put a little bit more heat on there to help more of that dry. So I'm going to just mute for a minute. Okay. So before doing the rest of my stamping, I am going to take one of the pieces of the double-sided adhesive and get it onto my foil, and then get my vellum onto the foil. So really, I don't think it matters which side of the foil, is used. There's the brighter side and there's the duller side. I'm going to use the duller side just so that it's not like taking away from the images at all. But honestly, I don't think it matters. Hope everyone is having a good week. As I mentioned, I leave for the Cape tomorrow, but today was my last day of work, and I am now off and don't go back until December 1st. I like to take the week of Thanksgiving off each year. And not necessarily to travel, but just even to have some downtime, some crafting time, and take it easy. And is that getting my sticky? Yep, there it is. Good. So with that done, I'm now going to take my vellum and line my vellum up onto there carefully. Hopefully this works as well as it did when I created my sample. Fingers crossed, toes crossed. Yeah, I started years ago taking the week of Thanksgiving off just because, at least at where I work, it is a little bit more quiet, and I only have to take a few vacation days because we have Thursday and Friday off as holidays. So there we go. Got our foil on. And now where we're not stamped, I'm just going to run my finger around to make sure that that's nicely down there. And it is. Believe me, Jay, I am a huge advocate of making sure that people use their vacation time. It's so important. Mental health days in general are just a great thing to make sure that we're getting the rest that we need. Okay, so now that that is there, I am going to place my magnet down and then grab some of the bubbles from the stamp set and get those stamped with the pigment ink. And there are 3 sizes of bubbles included in the stamp set, which is really fun. And so on the inside, I'm using the smaller ones because they fit nice. One, and yeah, actually, though, I did use, now that I'm thinking about it, the middle-sized set kind of down in the corner so that they kind of look like the bubbles were moving around inside of the crystal ball. So I will start with doing some pink bubbles to represent Glinda or Galinda. She was known as Galinda before Glinda, per the book and the musical. Hey, good for you, Jamie. Nothing wrong with that. I'm lucky that I have a boss who encourages, using vacation time. Um, so I'm pretty lucky in that regard, and he's a really good guy, and um, we get along well. So that really works out. I'm going to put just a few over here. But first, I'm going to clean off that stamp so I can use it again. And let's get just a few more pink on over here in the corner. Yes, Linda. I once called her that in speaking with someone, and they were like, no, her name's Glinda. And I was like, did you read Wicked, the book? She said no. I said, did you see the musical? She said no. I said, well, if you do see it, then you'll know that she actually started out as Galinda before she shortened it and became Glinda. I've also had the discussion with people about I'm now going to do the green bubbles. Hi, Kate. Nice to see you. Um, had the discussion about who was really the bad witch, who was truly the wicked witch. My opinion, it really wasn't Elphaba. She's a product of the environment and what they made her to be. So I'm going to put some of the larger green over here. And I just think it's fun to have, oops, I'm going to move that up here. I think it's fun to have that juxtaposition of the green and the pink representing each of those characters. Yeah, I mean the book was really good, Jay. And yes, there was a sequel written as well. And the book is a little dark compared to the musical, I think. But it's a good read. And that certainly launched that author's career, that's for sure. Gregory Maguire, who actually lives maybe only, I don't even think it's 10 miles away from me. He lives in Concord, Mass. So, and that's only about 10, geez, I don't even, like I said, I don't even think it's 10 miles away from where I am in Waltham, Mass, in the outskirts of Boston. Yeah, it agreed. It was pretty dark. I also read quite a few of the original Oz books. There was a ton written. And then once L. Frank Baum passed, I believe it was his daughter who continued writing some. I didn't read the complete entire series, but I did read quite a few. And I just always really enjoyed them. I found them to be fun. Let's see, where does this one go? Right here. Okay, so now that those are stamped, I am going to mute for just a moment to once again add some heat and kind of let that ink set there on the vellum. So I will be right back. Oh, Kate, I think you may have said before that you were from Webster. I remember you saying from Massachusetts at least. Yeah, that's not far from where I am at all. The first book, yeah. And that was a great book. And honestly, those original books were also a little dark at times with some of those characters that were created in the later books. Um I'm trying to think if there was another witch. I think her name was Mombi, and she was kind of scary. So I'm going to use just a little bit of glue to get my on the edges of the acetate to go ahead and get the crystal ball cover set in place. I mentioned that I have a couple of dogs, and I was cuddling with them earlier before coming on, and I now have some of their dog hair on my sweatshirt sleeves. And so, if you see me brushing something away off of my craft table, it is the occasional stray dog hair. So don't worry, I'm not losing it. I just I don't want like the little stray dog hair to make its way into the under the plastic of the crystal ball. Oh, cool, Cindy. Yeah, no, they're fabulous, fabulous book. Absolutely. I actually think I loved those original Bomb books better than Wicked. I mean, Wicked was interesting because we learned, some history and some story of Oz. But yeah, I really enjoyed the Oz books, the original Oz books. And the nice thing about using the glue, number one, with the vellum, you don't see it all that much when it dries. And two, since we're putting this shattered glass overlay onto it, that's going to help with masking, seeing the glue anyway. So, yeah, it sure is, Jay. Um, Honestly, and Christy, if Christy was able to tell you, she probably would, that when Christy and I met and went to the Cape in the spring, I miss these two when I am away from them so much. And I end up saying, "Oh, I miss my babies." Jay, I did use the adhesive sheet, but I used it to put down the vellum to the foil. I didn't use one on the front because I was afraid that I believe they're clear, but I didn't want it to like muddy up my images at all. So I wanted to be careful about that. So I did use the adhesive sheet for the going onto the back. And then I use glue around the plastic going onto the vellum in the front. And then I'm going to do the overlay, which is great because it is sticky on the back already. And, this stuff is magic. It just adds such beautiful shimmer and shine. And of course, laying it down, you just got to be careful um, to try to do it as flat as can be so you don't get any bubbles there. But again, when it shimmers, and first of all, I did it the right way and didn't get any bubbles, which is great. But with all that shimmer and shine, you wouldn't even see them anyways. So I've known Christy for probably about going on 2 years now. But we met in person for the first time back in the spring, which was a lot of fun. So, see how easy it was to create that crystal ball? I mean, it really took no time at all. Um, what I will now do is get that glitter glaze onto my base of the crystal ball. And to do that, I'm just going to use a paintbrush and dip it right into that glitter glaze. In this case, I can just take it right off of that top there. And you can put as much or as little as you want. A little truly does go a long way when it's dry, but if you want it to almost look like completely covered, I would suggest putting on a coat, either letting it dry on its own or speeding up the drying with a hair blow dryer, or your heat tool on low, and then coming in with another cover of the glitter glaze. But honestly, I think just the one does the trick and really adds so much to it. So, hi, Cordelia. Welcome. Unfortunately, our friend Sean is up in the air flying right now, so he's missing tonight. And honestly, actually, well, I think of it, I wanted to let you know that Sean and I are going to early next week record for next Thursday. So we will be on, but we won't be live since it's Thanksgiving. But there will be a video available for whenever you'd like to watch. So to speed it up, I'm just going to grab that hair gun again. And hey, Drea, welcome, my friend. I'll be right back. Just going to mute for a second. And that glitter glaze really dries so quickly. And like I said, I think just that one coat is more than enough. I had thought about putting a coat of glitter glaze under the plastic, but I was afraid that one, the ink may smear a bit since it's on vellum, and two, I didn't want to take away from those images inside. So I thought it was fine not to have the glitter there. So for attaching, I'm just simply going to put some glue here at the top of the base where I know my crystal ball will be resting. Got to fill this up soon. It's starting to run low. And let's get the crystal ball set onto our vase. Base. It's not a vase, it's a base. And right about there looks great. So there we go. That is all set. Now for the card base, I cut two of the pieces of the cardstock that comes in the inspiration box this month. Look at this pink. It has that sparkle and sheen to it as well, which is really cool. And then the green is like the perfect shade of green for Elphaba. It's wonderful. So I cut two pieces that are 2 inches by, I believe, I need to cut the bottoms. I had cut the width, but I didn't cut the bottoms. So I want there to be a black border around the card. So I cut the width of each piece to 2 inches so that side by side it's at 4, which will sit nicely on the A2 card base. And now I just need to cut the length down to 5.25 inches. Oh, didn't go through the second one. Let me do that one more time. There we go. Yeah, isn't it great, Penny? I absolutely love it too. It's really pretty. Now, for this, you can on the card I made the other night, I did put it flush down, but you can either put it flush down, or you could also put it up on foam tape if you'd like it elevated. It's really up to you. I'm going to glue it down. And I'm not really using glue. Instead, I am using my tape gun. And I'm going to get some tape back there. I'm someone who uses a lot of this tape, which is why I moved to the guns like this. And it was funny. I was in a class and teaching, and someone had mentioned to me, she said, "Wow, you really use a lot of that tape. You're an over adheser." And I just thought that was funny because, like, sounds like overachiever. And that really made me laugh. So now every time I am putting tape onto the back, all I can think about is adheser. These are the quirky little things that run through my mind from time to time. So there is the pink. Now we'll do the green. Yeah. Yes, that's true. I think that's why I like Kathy so much. Geez, I just love watching her. She cracks me up. And I just make sure that if there's any of that tape that's kind of resting on the edge, that I just fold it under. Jay, I've been teaching more and more. So yes, and I've been teaching with Altenew as part of their Altenew Academy. And I teach workshops that are generally free workshops, but I also develop um, lessons for classes for them. That's true. That is so true, Penny. So before putting on the crystal ball, I'm going to add in the sentiment, which I really like wickedly glad we're friends. So, and I centered that. So just to make sure I put it where I want it to be, I'm going to just say that's where the crystal ball gets placed. And I want the sentiment to go right about there with the word right in the center with the word wickedly on the pink and the rest of it onto the green. So now I'm going to grab my stamping platform. Yeah, so Jay, I really enjoy teaching. It's a lot of fun for me, and um, like teaching, like if I like discover a different way to use a product, and I don't want to speak about another company consistently on this company's time, but I'll just give you a quick example that the Altenew shimmer paste can be colored on with alcohol markers, and not a lot of people knew that. So I incorporated that into a class and taught that. So it was really cool to kind of like those mixed media techniques like that. And last year for Brutus Monroe, we did several craftathon videos that were a lot of fun. And I don't want to spoil anything, but you may be seeing some design team videos on the way. Just a coming attraction there. You may see some promotion for that coming up. And I think they're going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to do it one more time just to make sure it's nice and dark. This time I want to put more pressure on the pink side. Just tap the green. There we go. Happy with that. And the other thing I did, in addition to the sentiment, is there are these really cool like stars that are part of the stamp set as well. And I went ahead and stamped just a few of these going around the top, just for some kind of extra like magic, if you will, coming up off of the crystal ball. I think it adds just a little bit of something to have those. Oh, thanks, Drea. Yeah. I love it when you join me. Have a lot of fun. So for those, I am going to use, I want a lighter gray ink. So I think I'm going to use Lost Shadow Distress ink. Oh no, you know what? It wasn't that. I used silver pigment ink. That's what I used. So let's get those stamped. I forgot that I had used the pigment ink. For some reason, I was thinking it was Lost Shadow because it is kind of light. And I don't want it to take away from the design a lot. Just kind of arrange them and stamp them where you think it would look good. And you could also completely, if you're making a card like this, completely skip it if you don't like it. I always say follow your intuition when you're crafting and you won't go wrong. Listen to the little voice that kind of speaks to all of us from time to time. No, hi Ruth. No, actually, this particular ink. So I'm using the Tsuneko Delicata pigment ink. This dries pretty quickly, and matter of fact, as you can see, I'm running my finger over, and no smearing at all. So it's perfect. Now I wouldn't run my finger over the black just yet because I still see some wet spots, so I know that that's still drying. But this ink dries really quickly, so no worries about that at all. All right. Sounds like wine. Yes, indeed. Let's get that stamp cleaned off. There we go. And now all we have to do is get our crystal ball onto the card. And to do that, I like to have a little bit of dimension so that it looks like that crystal ball is coming right off the card. So I'm just going to put some double-sided adhesive strips back there to prop that up. And make sure that these adhere pretty well to the cardstock, so it'll keep them securely there. And I'll put 2 on the base just to make sure that that gets supported as well. Kate. You know what? To that I say, why not? Go ahead and have a glass. Why not? It's almost the weekend. Help you relax. Fruit salad time. I love that, Penny. Okay, sometimes these backings can be a little tough, but end up getting them. And what you could do, um, you could also put a little bit of glue on top of these if you really want to make sure it's going to stick. But I find that these generally stick pretty well. So now I'm just going to get my crystal ball kind of centered there with those. I don't know if you want to call them stars or um, little bits of magic coming up off of it. And as a final touch, I'm going to grab. Last year, Brutus Monroe had these crystals, and they're fabulous. And they still do have some. I ended up buying the bundle of all of them, and some of them are no longer available, but some of the colors still are. And I'll tell you, these last a long time. I use them a lot, and I still have so many of them left. And in the center of these little magic explosions, there is a little hole. So I put a little dab of glue there and then put a. Oh, good to know. Oh, new colors. You're speaking my language, Penny. That's good to know. Nice. Hi there. Is it Celie? Celie? Do you pronounce it Celie? Thanks for stopping in. We're almost done, but yes, you made it in time for the wine talk. Then I'm just going to drop a crystal down into the center. And just like that, we have a really fun card to give to your partner in crime, your bestie, your good friend. Wickedly glad we're friends. Oh, good. I'm glad I'm pronouncing that right. Always like to check. And look, all of that shimmer and glitter from the cardstock, from that overlay, which I'm telling you, this stuff is magic. There was already the foil sheets that you could buy that were similar to this, but you have to have a mink or something like that to be able to use that to foil. With these, you just peel the back off, stick it onto anything, and it's fabulous. I am going to stock up on this. And then, of course, our base that we use that glitter glaze on. And what a perfect way to celebrate opening night of Wicked. So there we have it. And again, for those who may have missed the beginning, I also made a card with another crystal ball, but without the base. The reason I didn't use the base on this one is because I used the hand stencil from this month, the Friendship, I believe it's called, and have Elphaba's hands coming down towards that crystal ball. And I used so one of the flying monkeys is in the center there. And I used the sentiment, "You've got this. And if not, the monkeys are ready." So I thought that was a lot of fun. Also on this, I used that, I believe they're calling it the Bubbles and Broomstick stencil. It's the stencil that is in the inspiration box, and stenciled it on there with some Lost Shadow oxide ink, just to make it look like there's a little bit of like smoke and magic around the crystal ball. So that's another idea for a card, using the inspiration box, but also using that wonderful snow globe die that's still available, and is really so great in making lots of different projects. So thanks, Ruth. I appreciate that. I really thought that this was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Sean found out about his flight time changing last night and didn't have time to create a video. Hey, Jim, welcome. We're just wrapping up now, my friend. So Sean does not have a video for you like he would normally have if he was missing the live. But he will be sharing his card on the Brutus Monroe socials, and it's fabulous. And as usual, I think it's really fun to see how we both took the same product, the inspiration box, and created two really different designs. Oh, thank you so much, Kara. I appreciate that. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well, and thanks for joining. Jim, thank you. Yeah, if you don't mind giving a thumbs up to our live, would appreciate it. Like to know that you're enjoying the content that we're providing, whether you're live or watching it later. And if you're watching it later, welcome. Glad to have you with us. Yeah, I know, Cordelia. I felt bad. He texted me about 10:30 last night, and he was like, "I'm not going to be able to make it." So, but we are going to have a video next week that will air at 7 p.m. And if you happen to miss it because you're having some Thanksgiving fun, you can always go to the Brutus Monroe channel and go ahead and catch it on a replay. Kate, totally get that. The monkeys freaked me out when I was younger. Yeah, totally get it. Now we're at a different understanding with them, but yeah, a lot of fun. So thanks, Sandy. Much appreciated, my friend. Thank you all for spending this past hour with me. I really appreciate it. And we'll be returning 2 weeks from tonight with a live, but we will have a video for you next week. Until then, happy Thanksgiving to all. Hope that you all have a wonderful holiday, and we'll talk soon. Good night.